Hello everyone. It's James again. And before I start today's video, I just want to quickly say, all work in this video contains 100% original content of and by myself James Smith, otherwise known as Bgood 4000, and was uniquely created with NAWMAL software, by myself James Smith. As I purchased commercial rights from NAWMAL to produce my unique and original video with this software. Commentary is uniquely my own thoughts, feelings, and expressions. Now that I have that out of the way, I do hope your day is going way better than fantastic. And your journey to self-betterment is going way better than fantastic as well. Today I want to continue our discussion or talk from yesterday. Slowing things down in our narcissistic society. Why is it important for you to be able to do? How you can start to do this in your life? And why narcissists do not want you to have this information or abilities to actually be able to slow things down. And examples. Examples you can sink your teeth into. And speaking of which, let's look at the world stage. Because many things happening in the world. And how narcissists go about doing the evil they do. Mimic and or is similar to how the narcissists in our one-on-one lives manipulated us and gained control or at least tried to gain control over our lives. So looking at both aspects and understanding both aspects are highly important. To being able to develop a stronger level of discernment regarding the behavior and motives of people. The key is to develop habits. Strong and good habits, not overreacting. You see. The news these days tends to not only try to provide a news story, but with a slant to that story. To make that story do what? Stir up emotions. To get you to feel and react a certain way. Then you might watch a different news source. And though the slant might be different, their job or goal is to also stir up emotions in their viewers to emotionally react in a certain way. Now what happens to a person if they get sucked in, so to speak, to emotionally reacting to this slanted news story? And from that slanted news story, one might bring that emotionally reactive behavior into their personal life. Much the same when growing up in a home with a narcissist parent or parents. You see, this narcissist parent knows. They know that you have no experience whatsoever with discerning behavior and how to understand high-level manipulation. Because you likely have never been exposed to such things before. So what this narcissist parent will do is they will put you in one bad situation after the next, hoping to get an emotional reaction out of you. Then once they know what makes you tick or react this way, they can now duplicate this formula over and over again. And the more they do this to you, the more you have this bad behavior trait trained into you without you even knowing it's being trained into you. So then when you go out into the world, you might have bad emotional reactions that might seem out of place, or that cause more problems than they solve. Which again, serves the narcissist parent or parents that put this trait into you. Because if you are behaving like this, it's likely you will attract like a magnet bad situations and bad people into your life. Which will make it double hard to become any kind of life success. And if you start to fail really badly at life, guess where you might end up? Right back into your toxic home of origin. Which is where the narcissist parent or parents want you to be. Before they end their time on this earth. So they can feed off of your misery and pain. You see. So what we are wanting to do is the reverse. We want to build habits that don't have you emotionally reacting. But to be able to take a step back and think. And process the information. And one of the best ways to do this is with a lot of the things that are happening on the world stage. You might see a news story about something a major figure said or did. And in the media, they might paint it out to be a certain way. Or the source you are watching it might paint it out to be a certain way. After watching such a clip, do yourself a favor and try to see if this topic is covered on another source that might give a different slant, so to speak. So now you are watching the same news story. But on one source the message is one way. And then on another source, the message is another way. Ask yourself why that is. This is where stepping back comes into play. Let's see what else I can find out on this subject. Ask yourself, who benefits by such a slant? And who benefits for the other slanted story? Then when out in the world, when you hear someone emotionally without reason or rational comment about this story, you will think to yourself, did they even learn more about what was going on? Or did they just watch a clip from the news sources that provides a certain slanted view? Ask yourself, is it possible they even watched another source with another viewpoint? And then what will happen is, you will start to see emotional reactors a mile away. It will actually be almost cringe and uncomfortable when you hear someone just for no rhyme or reason blame someone for all the problems in the world. But here's the true test and way to deepen this new habit you want to master. When such a person has such a reaction, just smile. And don't say anything back about what they just said. You might even change the subject. Do not feel obligated to go deeper into conversation with someone that is emotionally charged and that isn't using logic. It's like that old saying goes, don't wrestle with a pig in the mud. Because you will just get dirty and it will serve no purpose. And pigs like it. Because regardless if someone is a narcissist or not, if someone has these emotional things they blurt out, and you can tell they haven't really thought about what they are saying, chances are, if you share facts that you've learned, it will do no good to change their emotional thinking. And they might get an emotional charge out of going back and forth with you. And such a situation can quickly be misconstrued as an argument. And if there are others in the nearby area, you will likely be seen as the aggressor, even if you are the one pointing out logical facts. So, smile. And change the topic. So you are using what is going on in the world to teach yourself how to process information, to research, and to, though yes, feel sad about certain things that are happening, to know much of what you see on television and on other sources. They are likely trying to get you to feel a certain way, for whatever reason they have. And the people that put on such shows, they know how to tap into real primal parts of your mind and your thinking. So they can trick you into turning off your rational thinking. And your emotions are on autopilot. And that's when they have you. And that's when it spills over into your everyday life without even knowing it. And if someone tries to point it out to such a person, their pride won't allow them to admit they have been manipulated and controlled. So they will double down on their emotional reactions. And again, when you know that, you know it's fruitless to point it out to someone right in the middle of such a discussion. Let this person figure out this is toxic behavior on their own research. The information is out there. It's up to them to take advantage of such information. Much like you are doing today. And here's the thing. There is so much happening on the world stage, from this topic to that topic, that you can really learn some good habits. By learning what is happening in the world and being able to have internal conversations with yourself about such topics. And ask God for discernment. And then step back and away from it. And clear it from your mind. So, then when it comes up again, you are more in a frame of thinking. And instead of emotionally reacting. And here's the most, or at least one of the most important parts. So pay attention closely to this point right here. If you are able to emotionally step back and understand better a particular happening, and then you are able to do the same with another and another. I'm talking about world events. Over time, you will start to see how these many events might link up. And how many that overly reacted played into how these are linking up. It's like you can start to be able to see and expect to one degree or another. And will you start to see? More times than not, your discernments are correct. And this will allow you to start to develop a sense about people in your personal life. Here's an example. If society has you trained to react emotionally, then you go to work. and your coworker that you think highly of is now taking little jabs here and there in regards to your relationship with your spouse. You might just fall into the trap they are setting for you. And that is to emotionally react and do something rash that can destroy a relationship forever. But if you, through watching the news, you have taught yourself to digest the information and think about it, to ask yourself questions: who, what, where and why, you will likely be able to do the same in this situation. Think about when you were younger. Someone might come up to you on the playground at school and say, "So and so said this, that and the other about your sister." And then before you know it, you are charging over to this person. You don't even know if it's true or not. And you are fighting. Well, this same tactic is used on majority of people on the world stage. No discernment. No questions. No nothing. Just emotional reaction. Now, no matter if this person is telling you the truth about this other person talking bad about your sister, what purpose did it just serve to tell you about it? Quite possibly they wanted to see you fight this other person, and they know by telling you this lie, half-truth, or even possibly full truth, in the manner in the scenario they told you in, would get the end emotional result they were looking for. That's life. Again, my mother did this to me when I was a really young kid. And I see these same patterns playing out in society today. And people are falling for this trick. Quite simply because the trick works. And narcissists don't want you to know how to step back and slow things down. Because then they can no longer use their sleight of hand tricks as well against you. And it will become more and more difficult to get you to willingly walk into their traps. And it's weird. I find, the more I watch things on the news, and learn about what is happening, and ask myself questions, and ask God for discernment, the less reactionary I am in my own life and one-on-one dealings with others. The more I ask the same questions. Why did they just say or do that? What purpose does it serve? What should I do or not do about it? And is it even important enough for me to even consider a reaction? And just like on the world stage, some things you can see coming, and you might prepare. Not over-prepare, or under-prepare, but prepare. Same with your one-on-one dealings with people. Make sure you always have an exit plan. Make sure you pay attention to the things being said and done. Here's another example. You start dating someone new, and they show up to your house or apartment saying their roommate kicked them out. This is a trick that most disordered people pull at one time or another. And it's one trick or test most of us fail. But ask yourself, if this person really cares about me, won't they understand that I still want to take things slow and get to know them? I've only been dating them for a few months. Moving in is a bit much at this time frame. And rarely works out when people do such a thing. So I will be understanding to their problem. And I might take them out to lunch. And we'll talk about it. But you might look for options that do not include them living with you, but possibly renting another room. If they blow up on you, remain calm. Know you did nothing wrong. You are being helpful, kind and decent. And you are actually showing care for your relationship by wanting to take things slow. And now this person just showed you who they really are. Please trust what you are seeing. If this person doesn't get their way, they will cause great stress in your life. It's time to possibly let them go now, instead of dealing with the headache later. Again, ask yourself some questions. If the person you were with cared enough to let you stay over for a few days, and then offered to help you find a clean and nice room for rent nearby, while you were still trying to get to know one another, wouldn't you be happy? Yes. It's very likely you would. And it's very doubtful you would curse them out and call them all kinds of names. So if they are doing so to you, remain calm. Even make a face like you are confused. Don't say anything. Nor try to further explain yourself. Let them scream. And you don't say a word. Let them drive off. Because likely they will be going over to another person's house they have on speed dial that you were never aware was even in the picture. This is up there with first argument the narcissist will start with you after they have love bombed you for several months. The example I love to use, because it's so common, is you are 5 minutes late to go somewhere with them. It might be an informal lunch or dinner or day at the zoo. And they will accuse you of everything under the sun. Do not respond. And if you do, you can keep it simple and short. I'm sorry, you have the wrong idea about what happened. That's it. Again, you might have a confused look on your face. And just sit there and say nothing. Let them storm off. Or when the time is right, leave. If they circle things around back to apologizing, because this can happen. They might yell at you for an hour. Then they will cry and apologize. You might say calmly, "Hey, thank you for your apology. But I think I better go. This interaction has kind of thrown me off a bit. And I need time to be by myself." And no matter if they are okay with that or not, you have your answer about this person. This person is done in your life. Done, done, done. Why is this person yelling at me? Would I have done that to them? I mean, for 6 months I could do no wrong. Now, I'm the biggest loser on the planet Earth according to them. What happened? Then the more you talk to yourself, the more the picture comes into full view. This person you are dealing with has some sort of toxic problem. Keywords. This person you are dealing with. Not you. Them. And it's not for you to try to fix them. Pray for them and move on. And the more you can do this, along with how you see things play out on the world stage, the more you can have a better grasp on your life as a whole. And the more you have the ability of slowing things down and seeing the people that are quality, that aren't fake. And that would be a great asset to be around. Which is the goal. To be able to be around decent like-minded people. That have boundaries. And that respect you have boundaries as well. I think this is a good place to stop right here. So you can comment. Maybe a part 3 to this video? We shall see. With that said, I do hope your day is blessed. And until next time. Bye for now. And be good to yourself.